right, boom. I think gaps are so incredible and that you should accommodate them when you're getting grills. Here's an example of someone with a gap filler who did a star design. I like that. That's cool. You know, I'm not here to lie to you though, right? So possible issues can be that star coming the fuck out your mouth all the time. It depends how big your gap is, how the star actually likes your mouth. It's a lot of things to take into consideration. If your top lip will hit the star when you're talking, the star could be super pointy. I don't know. There's no different angles of this photo. But overall, it's cute. I think it's a good design and I think you should try it. I think you're pretty safe with like 10K and all that because it's a design more than like an open face or anything like that. If you don't know, the higher you go in the metal type, the softer the metal is, which means it's going to manipulate better in your mouth. So you're putting on and off a piece on your tooth and it could get loose as you're doing that. But if you don't want to do 10K and up, you can still do Silver 925, use our protective layer, and that will protect your teeth from any tarnishing that's going on that grill. 10K and up still tarnishes if it's under 24 karat gold. However, it's a slower tarnish, so you're not necessarily seeing that tarnish immediately. A great example of someone who has a gap who uses grills a lot is our boy Tyler, the Creator. Let's get a closer look. In love, in love, in love. Look how he uses his gap as an accessory, just like that accessory on his gap, okay? He says, I love my gap. This is what I'm gonna do with my grills. I'm gonna use my grill on top of my gap. This is also a good beginner piece because that green is an enamel. So it's just a coloring on top of the gold. Here's another example. Here's our training grills, $105 on easethebrand.com, okay? However, they are using this gap and they're putting a single tooth on their front tooth. Possible issues could be, this looks chunky, so it could possibly come out her mouth. I'm not sure if that's a girl. Either way, I love the creativity. I love that they're using their gap and they're not scared to put a grill on there. Here's a much smaller gap. She is putting the grill on the tooth next to there. I do want to show you an example of someone who has a gap who actually covered the gap. Boom, if you have a gap and you don't want to show it, our jewelers can actually cover it for you with gold. This is an extra charge. It's like building a tooth. I love this look too. If you're not into gaps and you have one, like I said, I love gaps and I think you look great. Whoo, child, we all in this man's mouth. But look how he does his grill. He kind of like has two different pieces that makes it a full grill, but he's not leaving his gap out, okay? He's like, I got a gap, what you gonna do about it? So I don't want to hear your mouth anymore about these gaps, okay? I think they're great. I don't see the problem. So now you shouldn't have a problem or excuse, okay? easethebrand.com.